Thank you for being here with us for this weekly devotional. There are a lot of things out in the world today that are discouraging. I know that there are many that are, even as children of God, facing these discouraging times, facing the heartaches and the discomforts. And yet, you hear about many who are without, who either do not have enough money to make ends meet, or looking at this idea of possibly having to leave a rent house, or possibly losing a house or losing a business. And as I look around us, we see ourselves in drought and lack of rain, and the difficulties that come with that in a place that deals strictly in agriculture. And we find ourselves in difficult situations. We find ourselves standing in fear, looking at the government, the things that are happening there. We see all of these things, but I want us to listen to something today. I want us to realize the encouragement that we have in God. I want us to realize that we can lean upon Him, and it's not necessarily, or it's not. If we're a child of God, it's not about this life. These heartaches are difficult, and they're trying, and yet the greatest fear that any of us have is to fall away from God over physical circumstances, over the difficulties of the world, over the difficulties of government, over the difficulties of politics. But you find many Christians who are falling away. I have listened to many talk about those who were preachers of the gospel who have resigned their places because they found themselves without anything left to encourage them. And that's sad. I'm not saying these men have fell away from God, but the discouragement that they go through is difficult when you live your life. Each man that there is, as they live their life, whatever they do, it doesn't matter if they're farming, if they're ranching, if they're running a business, if they're working as hired hands, to give up hope and to feel as though there's nothing left to encourage one. And I want us to listen to David. I'm going to read from Psalms 27. And I want us to think about what David is asking. There were some physical things happening, and David was a man who fought many wars and battles. And there were military style battles, and yet we fight many battles today against Satan. Satan looks for every way in the world to discourage us, and he uses everything that's at hand. But I want us to listen to what David says. Psalms 27, he says, "The Lord is the light, or is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers assail me to eat up my flesh, my adversaries and foes, it is they who stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise against me, yet I will be confident. One thing I've asked of the Lord, that I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, to inquire in his temple. For he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will lift me high upon a rock, and now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies all around me, and I will offer in his tent sacrifices with shouts of joy. I will sing and make melody to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud, be gracious to me and answer me. You have said, seek my face. My heart says to you, your face, Lord, do I seek. Hide not your face from me. Turn not your servant away in anger. Or you who have been my help, cast me not off, forsake me not. O God of salvation, for my father and my mother have forsaken me, but the Father will take me in. Lead me, teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me on a level path because of my enemies. Give me not up to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and they breathe out violence. I believe that I shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. I want us to think about that. So often we seek for the Lord to remove the difficulties and the problems and the heartaches. And yet those things are what make us strong if we lean upon Him, if we seek Him. As David said, let me look upon your face. You see, we have to keep we have to keep in that relationship with God, seeking Him, seeking His presence. And most times He's not going to take away the difficulties, the heartaches. It's going to rain when it rains. The economy is going to turn around when it turns around. All of these things are happening on man's time. Rain happens when nature calls, when the winds are right, when the weather is complete and it offers it to this area. But see, God is there always. He's there for me to look to. He's there for me to find comfort in. He's there to help me in times of need. And sometimes, or many times, in that time of need, He's there to help me get through that need, to deal through that difficulty. He's not there to always take it away. Sometimes I have to deal with the difficulties at hand so that I can grow in God and I can be the man or woman He wants me to be. Seeking Him, seeking Him. See, it's not about the things of this earth that are important. It's the things of that heavenly realm that are important. He says He will be there with us. He will help us to be steadfast, that we might have an eternity with Him if we will look to Him, if we will seek Him. This is what David's trying to say. And no matter how bad it gets, no matter how difficult it is, I know that God is there. I know that He'll care for me. It may not be comfortable, it may not be easy, but He will be there and He'll help me through. As we go through these times and we're unsure of the things that are happening, as we look at the uncertainties of everything we face, there's one thing we can be very, very certain of, and that is God is there for us. Seek Him. Thank you for being here today, and may God bless you.